This video is brought to you by Knowledge at WP Carey, an online business resource published by the WP Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, and Cabot, the Center for Advancing Business Through Information Technology.
The biggest challenge that we face in terms of adoption of collaborative technologies is just the need to ensure that the freedom and open innovation that collaboration entails also provides the level of governance and assurance so that organizations have the freedom to implement these kinds of technologies, but in ways that don't become disruptive or potentially dangerous to their organizations.
One of the biggest challenges so far is people, one, appreciating what the value of the collaborative technology can be. It's difficult to put an ROI on something like that, and until someone's actually experienced it, it can be a challenge. I think further, some of the limitations of the technology, currently with some of the video conferencing, you have to be within the same network, and the service providers are not allowing for multi-switching that's needed. So, say Procter & Gamble could talk to Amgen. They would have to actually have their own network set up between the two. Cisco is working on that, and so are the service providers. But until that truly happens, there'll be some limitations to business teleconferencing on a high definition type level that telepresence offers.
Testing and learning and making sure that we are looking at new opportunities and new technology and working across the organization to integrate these new technologies. And, really it's communication. And luckily it is 2.0, so we have communication at our fingertips. We have social media and social networks where we can connect with each other. We can also tap into our consumers now to find out, if we're doing the right thing, what are we doing, and really have them help gauge our strategy as well. But really, it's bringing together all of the different multifaceted groups across the organization to really focus on success and collaboration within the company.
Every day we're changing technologies, and technology is advancing, and I think every day I get a new email about a new type of social networking website that's out there. So being able to keep up with that at a pace, at the same pace that is happening out there is probably the biggest challenge.
Well, interestingly, I think the biggest challenge a lot of organizations find is in finding talent, and it's a challenge for us like it is for anyone else. The technology itself is extraordinarily mature, and there's great things out there that virtually any company can apply. It's then finding the creativity and the talent of people and matching them up to what they have a passion for. If you can find the right people and put them in the right place, they can do great things. And that's a challenge, whether it's collaboration or any other business challenge.
I think there are two parts to the problem. One is the technology and educating people about the technology, and then getting the technology deployed. And I think that's half of the problem. And this is probably true for all companies. The second half of the problem is around adoption. How do you get people to change the way they work, to adopt and start using these technologies? And then as a follow-on to that, how do people change their business process to actually use the technology? So half the problem is technology and deployment of technology successfully, and then the other half, maybe even the bigger problem, is adoption and business process change.
Probably still one of the biggest problems with collaboration is that the world, to some extent, is still the result of the Tower of Babel. Not everybody speaks the same language, and language difficulties preclude the ability to really get the most value out of some of these technologies when you're using them across the globe. And it's subtle, too. Sometimes just minor differences in even, say, English make a big difference in one's ability to collaborate effectively with folks from another part of the world.
I think it's the same challenge every firm challenges. It is understanding how you work with these kind of technologies. Understanding that you need to have some processes around it in your company. You might have some people assigned to it. Like you might have like a communication coordinator employed in the company to ensure that the communication is gathered, it's put together, because otherwise you might not get the full benefit of the collaboration.
The biggest question is, what do we allow to become public knowledge and what do we keep as really an intellectual property matter and a piece of concern to us. Having said that, I think that there's an issue for all organizations out there in that many organizations I deal with have not made the decision on what should be public, what should be kept private, and what should be really secured. And I think that is a challenge not only for my organization but for all of the organizations out there, is to really identify the ownership and the responsibility for their information and how they plan to use it.